portfolio for my Master's of Science in Educational Leadership. Beginning out, I've got my leadership philosophy. I feel like taking the time in our courses to go through and actually define how we would describe leadership and how we plan to carry that out was very beneficial for me. And that's something that in my other courses, it had not yet been addressed. And I found that very, very intriguing. Going through my program of study, I greatly appreciated the flexibility that Fort Hays gave to be able to make sure that I could pair classes that fit with my family and my schedule at work, and then choose the best classes to take during that season. My updated resume is showing my current experience as well as that I've had in the past, highlighting my certifications and education as well as awards and references. For my annotated bibliography, a lot of my work was focused on MTSS at the secondary level, which is something that in our district we're currently looking at. Some of it was also tied into school redesign, as well as some data conversations. I feel like those three pieces are some of the most intriguing in education, especially in Kansas at the moment. So that's where I focused my research and really searched out information because I feel like that's going to be the most beneficial to me as a young administrator. Looking at my district activities that I work through, I had a lot of opportunities to be part of the district admin team this year and move through different activities with them, which I feel like gave me a lot of experience, even though it's not the same as serving as an administrator. I feel like I have a lot of insight and have been able to absorb and just kind of soak up everything that my administration is doing in my current position. So the first one was being able to work through the goals and the R's that we were selecting for our KISA visit. So I was able to be part of the behind the scenes with the admin team and doing the prep work for pushing stuff out to staff and community members, as well as then taking the results and going through those and then determining where the best fits were for us as a district. In the teaching and learning area, I've had the opportunity to work with the different staff members as they have been selecting textbooks, making sure that we've got a cohesive curriculum in place. Teachers have been working on BYOC, and then we went through and made sure that we were purchasing textbooks that would support the curriculum that they had in place. Looking at the fall semester last year, had the opportunity to be part of that calendar committee, be part of that meeting, how we went back and forth with presenting the calendar to the negotiating team, and then coming back and making changes. So that was something that provided unique insight. I've been on the teacher side of that, but had not sat on the administrative side. And so I gained a whole new set of insight through that activity. Collaborating with key stakeholders. One of the parts of the KISA accreditation process was really getting our information out to our stakeholders. So again, I got the opportunity to serve as part of the district leadership team in developing a survey that would go out to our stakeholders, get those results back, and then work to see how we could implement goals and action steps to address each one of those areas where we felt that our results were not where we would like to see them. I'm looking at our ethics and integrity, one of our big focus points, moving into school redesign as well as the KISA process, was to look at our current school culture and what we could do to support that, how we could choose those pillars that we wanted to continue to pursue, and how we could begin to implement new pillars of character and culture within our district. We did this through a district-wide book study. Again, had the opportunity to work with the admin team in selecting a book. And then we've had the opportunity throughout different professional developments throughout the year to engage the staff with this book and have some amazing discussions that really, truly have refocused the staff and I feel have been very beneficial. Looking at education systems, I did have the opportunity to attend numerous conferences based on school redesign. We did get a little bit into the year, and unfortunately, due to my position and the amount of time required to continue to attend, I've had to kind of step back at the moment. But I was able to go with the elementary principal to numerous redesign conferences, gather information. We were able to observe some of the current schools that are going through this process, to sit in and hear their conversations and have our own conversations about what this could look like in our district. I'm pleased to say that we were actually approved recently to be one of the school districts that will get to move forward with redesign next year. So that's a very exciting thing. Part of that was coming back and talking with our other administrators and working to get a secondary building on board, because we didn't want it to just be something that occurred at the elementary level. So when we put in our application, we did so for not only just our elementary, but also our junior high as well. So we're looking forward to moving forward in that direction. Over the last year and a half, I've had an opportunity to work very closely with Courtney McCartney on a lot of the elementary activities. I feel like I've gained a lot of insight from her, not only about things that happen in an elementary building, but also just about leadership and administration in general. Looking at goals and vision, one of the things that we have done over the last 3 years, and really strongly this last year shifted the focus of, is a monthly data collaboration day for our teachers. At this point, we bring in title services, we bring in SPED, the counselor, the administrator, and we all come together, and this is an opportunity to really truly look at the data, discuss it, how does this drive our vision and our goals for our students. So looking at larger goals for the grade level as well as goals for individual students. This is something that has been very eye-opening. Next year, I actually get the opportunity to lead these conversations at the secondary level and start to move in a similar direction with the other two buildings. So I'm really excited about the progress that's been made there. As far as teaching and learning, writing has been our focus for this upcoming year. It was our focus for this year. However, I still don't feel like we are where we want to be. So we've spent time developing teams. As a writing team, we have gotten in and we've looked at the various components, what we need to do to get students comfortable with writing. I've been able to lead this team of roughly 10 people total. We've got 4 at the elementary level. And take those ideas, combine them, work to bridge the gaps between the buildings, between the grade levels, and really truly express to the administration where we would like to go and how we would like to do so. So again, managing the system, I feel like this kind of led in very smoothly from the last one. I've had the opportunity to lead a couple of different teams, one of those again being the writing team, and the other one being the curriculum team. So this has given me an opportunity. The administration was there the first couple of meetings to kind of ease in. However, they really kind of have given me the ability to move forward with these groups. We do the work, we come back, and we report out to the admin team as well as the Board of Education. And then the team goes back and continues to move forward with what it is that we're working to accomplish. I'm collaborating with our key stakeholders. I've had the opportunity to share out with the Board of Education on multiple occurrences this past year. Some of those items have been centered on ACT Aspire results. Some of those have been on the science curriculum that we're looking at, how we will take that and expand that beyond where we're currently at, as well as state assessment scores. And then for ethics and integrity, we know that we have a very diverse population coming into our building. Prior to this year, we had a very small ESOL population. Many of those students were still fluent in English. There was just another language spoken at home. But we are now seeing that that population is actually changing, and we have some new to the country students coming in. So this year, we've done some work. There's still a great deal to be done, but looking to make sure that teachers have the opportunity to access the standards. I had the opportunity to give the KELPA exam, grade the KELPA exams for some of our ESOL students. And it just gives you a new respect for that culture and for what those students are going through as they're trying to make that transition to the United States and to English. And then finally, looking at our education system, we are incredibly excited. Again, that Apollo process and application and the opportunity to share out with those teachers as part of elementary level meetings. Those meetings were separate, and I feel like there was a great deal of work that was done in discussions and making sure the appropriate people were chosen for that team to then push that decision out to the staff and it to be well received. So now we're actually in the planning stages of some things, what are our goals, looking at our why already, and having some great conversations as an elementary staff. At the secondary level, a lot of the work I feel like is very similar. It's a different staff, and so some of the same activities took a whole different course when done with this other building. So part of the KISA process was looking at the vision and goals for the district and making sure that we were still on track with what we were hoping to accomplish. So we had a lot of conversations to go back and make sure that the staff was on board with what these goals were, and it wasn't just admin driven. As far as teaching and learning, I had the opportunity to work with the district level administration to select a curriculum mapping tool. We chose Build Your Own Curriculum, and I have had the opportunity to work not only with our curriculum team, but also then with the different buildings. So both the junior high and high school have been able to pull those teachers and work with them as a department and lead those conversations, as well as do some of the follow-up work on progress being made. Unfortunately, at this point, still lenient on the current administration to push that work, but seeing a lot of growth, as you can see the number of courses and units that have been accomplished already at this point. Looking at the organizational systems, we have split up into 2 committees, and I've had the opportunity to help lead the academic committee meeting. This group has come together to kind of look at how academics and relationship coincide, what we need to do to be responsive to our students. So again, very closely tied to the KISA process. One of the components there being looking at a no-zero policy, what that would look like for Frontenac, what would be the best fit, and how do we honor the traditions that are currently in place and that to be well received. Again, collaborating with the key stakeholders, opportunity at the junior high and high school level to also go through their, develop that survey, push that survey out to parents and community stakeholders, and then go through those results and make some connections about what needs to occur so that we could better our school and better serve our community. The school culture, again, I would like to emphasize the different staff between the junior high and the elementary. So at the junior high and high school level, we kind of took the culture, we've outlined what are those core values. What is it that we want to make sure that we're doing to ensure that all students are successful? Again, very closely related to KISA, very closely related to IPS. A lot of great discussions and having the opportunity to watch administration step back from leading that conversation and then go back and debrief with the administration and see how they're going to utilize that information. And again, part of the difference in the elementary and the junior high was truly trying to get the junior high on board. Elementary was ready to step out and jump on board with redesign, and for our junior high and high school, it was a little more uncomfortable to step out of their comfort zone. So we are incredibly excited to have had the opportunity to share that information with the junior high and high school. Our high school is not an Apollo school. However, they are taking measures to redesign within the district. Thank you so much.